So the latest behind-the-scenes Genshin stream finally confirmed what some were starting to suspect. Snezhnaya will not be the next region, and instead, it's going to be Nod-Krai. And I'm not sure about you, but this feels a bit weird or a little different, I guess. And in this video, I want to talk about and review everything that was shared on this stream, because there are some crucial details the developers have revealed that are absolutely worth investigating. But first, this video is sponsored by none other than the legendary Summoner's War. That's right, the granddaddy of gacha games is celebrating its 11th year anniversary. With over 240 million downloads worldwide, this turn-based RPG has been going strong thanks to its regular updates, collaborations, and a superb community of players. And right now is the best time to jump into the game due to the insane 11th anniversary rewards. Obtain up to 200 free summons, which allow you to pull free 3 to 5 star units from all 5 elements. Plus, you can also select 1 5-star and 4-star unit fully awakened with max level and skills, so you can start the game strong. And on top of that, the famous Hall of Heroes event will offer an extremely rare opportunity where you get to pick which 10 units you want to farm from all of the past Hall of Heroes choices. If that's not enough, there's some other 11th anniversary goodies you can obtain, like this cool Summonhenge skin. Oh, and don't forget to claim this super generous coupon code, which includes tons of free summons and 500,000 mana stones. So yeah, make sure to download Summoner's War by using my link in the description. This is truly one of the best times to check out the game, and you'll obtain tons of free stuff. Most importantly, by downloading this game, you'll also help support my channel. Okay, so first let me tell you everything that was revealed on the stream, and then I'll share my thoughts about the stream because I do feel like I need to address this whole situation. Right, so the most important thing to understand is that after version 5.8, this gift code confirmed on September 10th, 2025, Nod-Krai will be the next major region or storyline, I guess. And it will last for about 1 year before moving on to the next major region, presumably Snezhnaya. Now, the reason why I don't want to call Nod-Krai the next major region would be the fact that the devs clearly explained that they're trying to break from the pattern with this major update, and will try to tie up all loose ends in the story. What that really means is unclear as of now, but some speculate this maybe implies adding remainder of the new areas to existing regions, like Blackcliff Forge, that's existed as a point of interest in the game for years now. But yeah, the devs are basically calling Nod-Krai a place where all elements converge, because every region so far was about one particular element and its Archon, and since Snezhnaya is the only region left, it kinda makes sense to create a central area of all elements. Although, honestly, I was expecting Kandria to be the place, but whatever. Oh, and keep in mind, I don't have the best lore knowledge of the game, so if I make any mistakes here, please let me know in the comments. Okay, so what's Nod-Krai all about? Well, I think the most exciting part about it is that the Traveler will be meeting up with Grand Master Varka, and from what I understand, he will be the central character of this place. In fact, the devs confirmed Varka will make an appearance in 5.6 update, although they probably meant we will hear his voice that was already revealed during the 5.6 livestream. Also, it's important to note there will be several Harbingers who will be active here as well. But regardless, besides Varka, this upcoming major version will also focus on the primordial power of the moon, since Tevad had 3 moons in the beginning, and this major version will explore the mythos of it. Also, I'm sorry if I'm not showing the relevant footage here, but the stream was basically 95% of just the developers talking, and the rest of it were small snippets of what's to come. Literally no promo animation, just a few screenshots and short clips. Anyway, going back to Nod-Krai, so far 5 factions have been revealed there, one of which is Fatui, that we all know and love, but then the other 4 are as follows. Voynich Guild, however you pronounce that. This is, I believe, a faction of merchants in the more seedy areas of the city. Then there's Lightkeepers, who are like the military faction and patrol the areas to keep them secure. Then there's the Wild Hunt, who are, I think, some kind of hunters, and I believe we can even see one of the NPCs here. And then finally there's Frostmoon Scions, a group of druids who worship the moon. Now, interestingly enough, this time around, the devs won't be putting too much focus on capturing the archetype of a certain country for Nod-Krai, although they did hint it might have some features present in Baltic Seas countries. And as someone who's from Lithuania, I hope that means they will add a kebab kiosk in this new city. But anyway, they also said the new zone might have some design elements similar to World of Warcraft's zone like Howling Fjords, so I think this might mean this place will look more like Nordic or Vikings themed. Overall, besides a few other lore details and changes to the game they've shared, like the fact characters will start appearing in the world while you're exploring in the next major version, for the most part, it's clear they're going to be focusing on Nod-Krai for a whole year, but that also means potentially setting aside the main storyline. So let's talk about the possible consequences now. So, About an hour passed since the stream as I'm writing this, but overall, my initial reaction to this announcement is slight disappointment. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention to the clues in the game or something, but a few hours ago, I legit thought Snezhnaya is coming after Natlan wraps up this year. They even announced nodkrai stuff as early as 5.3 stream, and I thought this autonomous city will be coming out as one of the 5.x version updates. Guess I was wrong. And look, when I talked to someone close who also plays Genshin, they told me my reaction was natural. So far the game has been extremely formulaic. Every new major update is a new region. You visit it, help the Archon, save the nation, and move on to the next region. And I probably got used to it to the point where I relied too much on this formula, sort of like comfort food, and I guess that's why I got this feeling of disappointment. Now, I understand why developers feel the need to have nodkrai expansion. Like, one of the first things they admit is that they felt they had rushed the game and its pace was too fast, and those who are following the various side plot lines of the game will probably agree with that conclusion. So, the devs decided to create nodkrai to tie up all loose ends, as they said it so themselves. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not excited for this city/region, whatever you call it. It's just that I had in my mind completely different expectations. Although at the end of the day, as long as the devs keep introducing new and captivating characters, that's what makes the game thrive. I remember reading that Genshin comic in the early days, and Varka was already name dropped there. And now 5 years later, the dude is finally going to show up, and at least I personally feel quite excited about him. And with the amount of lore surrounding him, I'm sure his character design will be badass, unless they give him Ito's arms. But Varesa is the latest proof in character design that the devs can create more than just 3 usual small, medium, and tall models. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Snezhnaya getting pushed back for more than 1 year. It sucks, what can I say? But at the same time, I was kind of wondering what kind of plan does Hoyo have once the main story wraps up. This is a multi-billion-dollar live service video game, and you can't just end it and then say, hey, go play Genshin Impact 2 now. Since the sad nature of gacha games, or like live service games, is that a lot of people spend money on it, and wouldn't want to abandon the first game. Honestly, the money's like even whatever. It's the thousands of hours you sank into something, and then a completely new thing shows up and you're asked to move over there. I do feel like Genshin will just simply either reboot the story or introduce some kind of part 2 story after concluding the current one. And the reason why I'm talking about this, I honestly feel like that's why Snezhnaya is getting delayed. They are preparing for some kind of a transition and need more time before the final nation and then Kanayev wrap up the story. Ultimately, it's too early to say if nodkrai is going to be filler or not, especially since it's planned to be active for 1 year. I know time flies fast, but even with new regions, there are these dry updates and are usually starting to show up around 0.4 or 0.5 of every version. And also, if nodkrai is staying for 1 year, what about the usual hype buildup for the nation's Archon? Who will be the big hype unit of this place? Varka? Maybe one of the Harbingers? It's hard to say, but again, they are breaking a 5-year pattern we're all used to. So at the same time, this sounds quite exciting to me. Maybe if they are trying to tie up all loose ends, that means there will be a lot more new activities and zones with each nodkrai update, instead of just sometimes adding banners and events as new content for the next version, something that we've seen happen many times by now. But yeah, I think the biggest question on my mind right now is how will Hoyo manage to keep nodkrai interesting for a whole year, because I feel like it's quite possible this whole major update will get written off as filler. I'm not saying it is filler, but my own knee-jerk reaction to hearing these news about Snezhnaya getting set aside for more than a year was confusion. Although there was one crucial thing one of the devs mentioned. They are gonna treat nodkrai similar to how Gotham City in DC Comics is treated, as a central place of action. Honestly, the only thing I have on my shelf is Green Lantern, and then I mostly read Marvel stuff. So I'm assuming by that they mean nodkrai potentially will contain a lot of important lore and stuff here, and we shouldn't treat it as a filler city/region. So I'm interested to find out what they mean by that. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, even though I'm reading from a script, but at the end of the day, I am initially disappointed with this news, but also quite excited to see what's to come in the future. Some would say this is fence sitting, and maybe they're right, but this is legit how I feel about everything so far. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this are, and I'd appreciate if you could press the like button on this video to help with the algorithm. Thanks, and see you at Escafe and IFA character videos.